Couple of housekeeping items, and then for every episode for the past 20 plus episodes, we move on to the weekly rant. And this is the weekly rant for episode 124 of Go Tell It to the Wall podcast. It's actually going to be a little short this week, but it's something that's very, very personal to me. Not like emotionally personal, just personal. And I have, just to give everyone an idea out there, if you've listened to the podcast before, you know that I suffer from what at times can be a debilitating mental illness that is obsessive compulsive disorder, as well as obsessive anxiety disorder, which is very similar to OCD, just manifests mostly in anxiety, and my OCD tends to manifest in anxiety. Almost on a daily basis. We talk about this, so I don't want to get into my background so much. But for those of you who are curious what it's like to have OCD and the anxiety associated with that really on a daily basis, you just have to look at one thing that's happening in the world right now. Just one thing in particular, and then we'll unpack that. And that would be the fact that right now, literally right now, if you open a social platform, you scroll a little, you're going to find something referring to this. Right now, in this country, in this entire world, adults, not children, adults, full functioning adults, are having to be told to how, not just to do it, that's bad enough, they're having to be told how to wash their fucking hands. That's what it's, just think about that for a moment. Having OCD and being an extreme germaphobe, and the fact that we live in a world where adults have to be told to wash their hands. Adults have to be told how to wash their hands. Think about that. I want everyone out there listening to this, watching this, catching a clip of this, whatever it is, to think about that. Think about all the people out there that suffer from mental illness, that suffer from especially something like obsessive compulsive disorder, which is usually attached with germophobia. Think about that. We're not as fucking crazy as you want to fucking think we are we? Because that germophobia, that's not crazy. Why? Because adults have to be told to wash their fucking hands. Yeah, we're going to hit the F-bomb limit this episode. And here's the bottom line with it. We all live in a society, and I'm not talking about the Joker movie, I'm talking about George from Seinfeld. We live in a society where, we have certain understandings. We drive on the road, and we don't run straight into each other. We're courteous to an extent to one another. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that lack common courtesy. But something like washing our hands is, oh no, I don't need to wash my hands. What do you mean? It's astounding to me, people that go into the bathroom, go into a restroom, especially a public restroom, for the love of God. They go to the bathroom, they use a toilet, and they walk out without washing their hands. This happens. And this is why it takes a pandemic that's happening across the world right now in order to inform people they need to wash their goddamn hands. Have some courtesy for others out there. And I'm not saying everyone listening to this doesn't wash their hands. In fact, I've been pleasantly surprised by a lot of people's reactions and saying, really? People have to be told to wash it? This is something we should be doing anyway. You shouldn't just be doing this because there is a potentially deadly disease that is floating around this country and around this world. This is something you should do anyway. And the bottom line is it's common courtesy to other people. Would you take a shit in your hand and then go and rub it on somebody? Yeah, that's an extreme example, but that's what's happening when you go to use the restroom and you don't wash your hands. That is exactly what's happening. And it's for that exact reason I don't touch a lot of things out in the world. Those video, ordering screens that you find at fast food restaurants and other places, now, I don't touch them. I don't touch them. In fact, I went to McDonald's. There's a McDonald's right by my house. Once in a while, I crave a cheeseburger and some French fries. I went over there Sunday. My wife was at home with my daughter. I said, I'm just going to go grab a cheeseburger and fries. And I go in there. And the guy, instead of, taking my order at the counter, he goes, oh, I'll order for you over here. And I said, and luckily he was going to do it anyway. But I said to him, I was like, okay, you're going to do it for me, right? Because I don't touch these things. I just don't touch them. So as a common courtesy to your fellow human beings, learn to wash your goddamned hands. If you're somebody that doesn't do that, you're just a perfect example of what's wrong with this world, because it's such a simple thing. It's such a simple courtesy to everyone else out there for you to wash your hands. Anyone you're interacting with, wash your hands. There's no reason not to. You're never in that much of a hurry that you can't wash your hands. It's simply a common courtesy. And you know that feeling you get? Like just thinking about it for yourself, like, man, people are having to be told to wash their hands. When you think about that from the perspective of mental illness, multiply that by 1,000. The irritation and the anxiety that maybe you feel that little hint of anxiety, like, man, people need to wash their hands. Man, this is crazy. I got to be careful and disinfect stuff. Multiply that by 1,000, and that's what it's like to have a mental illness such as mine. That's what it's like. And stuff like this makes me not want to be around other people. I always joke with people. I'm like, I hate people, and I'm very cynical. I am. People don't believe me that I'm cynical, but I am. I just don't get very cynical with everybody out there, but I am. And I say it often. I'm like, I just don't like people. Just don't like people. And this is a perfect example of why I don't like people. I don't feel bad about not wanting to be around people, because it's disgusting. Bottom line, adults, kids, I don't care what age you are, wash your hands. You shouldn't have to be told to wash your hands. You should just do it. My 3-year-old is great about washing her hands. She's 3. So if you're an adult, no excuse. No excuse. Let's all wash our hands, and we'll all live healthier. And we won't have to look like morons when something happens and people say, well, the best defense is washing your hands, and here's how you do it. Jesus Christ. Wash them. Call it a day, and we'll all get along better.